Britain's royal family has rushed to be with Queen Elizabeth today after doctors said they were concerned about the health of the 96-year-old monarch. They said she should remain under medical supervision. The Queen, Britain's longest reigning sovereign and the world's oldest monarch, has been suffering from what Buckingham Palace has called episodic mobility problems since the end of last year. And there you can see the gates at residence in Balmoral in Scotland. And we know that many family members are inside. All the Queen's children, Prince William apparently there, but the arrival of Prince Harry still expected. And of course, he moved to the States, so he is yet to fly in. But these are the gates, and these are live visuals as the Buckingham Palace has confirmed that there is a medical issue. So let's bring in our international editor, Sophie Mokoena now. And Sophie, we don't know much more, but the fact is, whether people are royalists or not, whether they like the legacy of the royal family or not, she is a highly recognizable figure, a global newsmaker, and the world is watching here. Can we say from the communication from Buckingham Palace, it does suggest this could be serious?
It does suggest that this could be serious. When you look at the Balmoral gates, we saw many cars coming in and out, including the military. And as you pointed out, Prince Charles is there and the others. I think Margaret is also there. We saw Andrew and William arriving earlier on at the Aberdeen airport, where they then went straight to Balmoral. As you pointed out, now we are waiting for Prince Harry, who is on his way to Balmoral also. And I think this is serious, looking at the traffic at the gate and also people converging outside Buckingham Palace in London.
And just days ago, pictures were released. She was standing, however, they did have to go to Scotland, but she received the resignation of Boris Johnson, the outgoing head of the government, and she welcomed in Liz Truss.
Yes, she did the formalities, and the challenge there for me was that we know that Liz Truss was not in support of monarchy, and as a former Liberal member or Liberal Party member, she was really against the system. And also we know that she then met her and there were formalities. One suspected when there was no video or audio visual, it was just still pictures. But when you look at her pictures, particularly the hands, many people were asking questions around what is happening. But when you look at her face, she was wearing that smile, and it didn't really give away in terms of whether she was struggling with something. And I don't think she's got a very traumatic illness. I think it's that issue of mobility, and when one is on his twilight years and he's exhausted. And I think that is why she took a decision to go to Balmoral, to be away from the hustle and the bustle, and prefer to go to Scotland for summer. And therefore, I think it was a big day on Tuesday. And the Prime Minister, she has issued a statement and wishing the Queen well, and also saying that the whole government is in support, or they are with the family, not only her, but also the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, has also issued a statement, and many other world leaders and high-profile people and ordinary people in the United Kingdom.
And let's remember how many prime ministers' hands she has shaken over the years. Sophie, let's also talk about the Queen's relationship with South Africa as a former colony. We do have the statement when she wished South Africa well after the floods, suggesting that we were on the agenda of this monarch.
We know that South Africa is a former colony of Britain, and therefore the relationship stems from the time when we were colonized, and it continued post-1994. We know that her first visit to South Africa was in 1947 when she was 21 years old, and she celebrated her 21-year birthday in Cape Town, where she delivered that prophetic message talking about her commitment to serve the people, or the people of the Commonwealth. And little did we know that then in 1952, she was going to take over from his father. And at that time, a newlywed went to Kenya for holiday. That is Prince Philip and Prince Elizabeth at that time. And when they were there, the news came and they were communicated to Prince Philip that her father has passed on. And immediately there was a strong protocol arrangements, because she flew back being a queen, and she was met by the leadership of the United Kingdom, including the royal family. And that's where her reign started. And as you pointed out, I mean, she presided on official appointments of prime ministers of Britain, starting from Winston Churchill and now with Liz Truss on Tuesday. And therefore, she's a newsmaker. People have written books about her. And there's a story. Many people might not agree with the politics of monarchy, but the reality is she is a newsmaker. She also visited South Africa in 1995, attending the Commonwealth conference. She met Nelson Mandela then. And then later, 1999, when President Mbeki was the president, he hosted her in Durban for the Commonwealth Summit. And all South African heads of states post-1994 have met the Queen, starting with Madiba during his state visit in London. He did meet the Queen, and you'd recall that Zelda, who was Madiba's PA, once told us a story that for Madiba, she was just Elizabeth, and that's how he used to call her, and he never subscribed to the protocol and the formalities. President Thabo Mbeki then also met her, and of course, President Kgalema Motlanthe, it was during the G8 summit in London. At that time, it was a G8, not G7. Russia was still part of the developed nations. And then later, it was President Jacob Zuma also. And of course, President Ramaphosa has also met the Queen. Yeah. And therefore, the relationship is quite strong, both at state, government, and also people to people.
Well, thank you for that interesting history. Sophie Mokoena, SABC News' international editor, and at the very least, yeah, Africa is interwoven in the story of this Queen's life.